WWE Friday Night SmackDown for May 23rd, 2014. I will get into what I thought of the whole overall show later on. I just want to get started because this week we got a very special edition, that included a lot of funny production stuff like editing and, commentary stuff, which was pretty damn fun. But again, I'll get into that a little bit. But we kicked things off with Tony Chimmel basically having to introduce Jimmy Hart twice, It was pretty funny, but Jimmy Hart comes out just to introduce Hulk Hogan, and I really hate Jimmy Hart on Legends House, so I don't really like seeing him on TV anymore. He's just that annoying heel, even in real life. Anyway, Hogan cuts a generic promo that just says that he's going to be the host of SmackDown, which ended up being a 2-minute promo. JBL even put this over exactly as I was thinking when he said that this isn't news. Then it's Dolph Ziggler versus Batista in a no disqualification match where, they don't really play up to it very well. It seems like they should have just made this a Falls Count Anywhere match because they didn't really do a whole lot hardcore here. And all they really did to make it seem like it was hardcore was fight outside the ring. Anyway, the match ends up being not bad. I mean, it's actually pretty good. It puts over Batista well. And the funny thing is Batista really is treated like the weak link of Evolution. Like, his singles matches are just thrown around like pancakes around an IHOP. Whereas with Randy Orton and Triple H, they're hard to come by these days. So then it was a tag team match player between Piggy Fela and Eva Marie versus the Funkadactyls with Summer Rae as the referee. And what's funny is that JBL thinks that every Diva referee that's a special referee kind of reminds him of Timmy White. So I think Candice Michelle back in 2005 for that bra and panties match between Tori Wilson and Melina reminded me of Timmy White as well. I think Timmy White should have taken off his clothes after the match too. Anyway, one thing that I took away from this match, it kind of started a feud between Eva Marie and Summer Rae, which is, I guess it's been boiling over from Total Divas, and Summer Rae's in her 50th different feud getting shoved down our throats. She's Lemon for one feud, she's Rosebud for another feud, so it's kind of weird. Anyway, it looks like the most anticipated match in the Divas division right now is Eva Marie versus Summer Rae, which we might get at SummerSlam, believe it or not. And, I don't know how good it would be for business, being as how, apparently, according to Summer Rae, I don't quite see what she's talking about, but Eva Marie just plain sucks in the ring, apparently, I don't quite see it that way, but I don't know how good for business it would be, being as how a lot of the internet seems to agree with Summer Rae there. Anyway, they didn't really do a whole lot of storytelling with this match. It just seemed like right away Summer Rae was never going to count the pinfall, so there was never really any real turn here. It was like we knew it was going to happen all along. So anyway, Cameron ends up being a worse wrestler than Eva Marie is. So I don't see why Gayomi doesn't do the same thing that Summer Rae did and just say that she plain out sucks and just leaves her. Anyway, Michael Cole is chastised by Vincent Kennedy McMahon because he said the term making out over commercial, and that was pretty damn funny, I've never seen someone so ostracized for saying the word making out on television. I mean, I think I've heard that on Disney Channel before, and I've heard even more violent terms on Disney Channel before than on wrestling. You can say get out you bitch, but you can't say they made out in the middle of that very ring. Finally, guys, ever since the vignettes began, you couldn't help but want to see the debut of Bo Dallas. And what a true test it was. His very first match is against the guy that killed Gaines. And I gotta say, I think Sin Cara was definitely wearing green as a message to Sheamus, as a way to make it seem like, if Bo Dallas can beat the guy who beat up Sheamus, Bo Dallas can beat up Sheamus. Anyway, the only thing that I took away from this was that I don't like the fact that Bo Dallas uses Stratusfaction as his finisher, but I guess I'll live. Maybe he's paying homage to one of my favorite divas of all time. Definitely up there in the top 3. And I don't know. I believe in Bo Dallas, everybody, and I hope you believe as well. Believe you can fly. Believe you can achieve anything in your life. Bray Wyatt comes out to cut a heel or face promo, however you decide to take it in, on the England crowd who decided to boo him. And guys, you know what? What I said on the Raw review still reigns supreme. Every time you think that Bray Wyatt can't outdo himself, they put a mic in his hands and he opens his mouth. Now, I don't think this was better than his promo on Raw, but damn it, guys. How does he still manage to, add to his character while just not ruining it in general by adding more to it as the weeks go by? It's eerie, and that's what makes Bray Wyatt easily an early GOAT so far. And the fact that he is an early GOAT so far, it might mean that he will be the first ever superstar to defeat John Cena in a last man standing match. One can only hope. Keep your fingers crossed. Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio. I did not even watch this match. I didn't have to know to start this 10 reasons why Alberto Del Rio is better than Sheamus. First of all, let's start with entrances, okay? What would you rather have? The cool car entrances that Alberto Del Rio used to do in 2011 and 2012? Or would you rather have that boring, generic guy just walking down to the ring and holding up his arms, I mean, I've literally seen local competitors with more exciting entrances than Sheamus. Number 2, Alberto Del Rio had his own ring announcer for a while until he decided to take out his aggressions upon him and send him to the Spanish announce team where, all the superstars will take their aggressions out on his table from now on. Sheamus has never had that, nor will he ever be as exciting as Alberto Del Rio. Number 3, the Bella Twins came all over Alberto Del Rio back in 2011 and early 2012. And you know what? Even though it's not much of an accomplishment, at least some divas showed some interest, despite the fact that they reeked of desperation on Alberto Del Rio. At least someone showed interest in Alberto Del Rio, whereas with Sheamus, he never gets the women. I think he tried to hit on Renee Young once, and she kind of gave him that awkward smile or that awkward laugh where it's like, you better back off. Number 4, catchphrases. I'm gonna kick your arse, fella, or you're a peasant. I don't know. I mean, they're both pretty bad, but if I had to take one, I think I'd rather call people peasants for the rest of their life than fella. Number 5, that fucking horrible feud they had in 2012 where Sheamus just completely squashed Alberto Del Rio, didn't even give him any sort of form of life. It was like, I don't know, like they were watching some kind of a boxing fight where, Sheamus got a knockout victory in the first round, but instead he just kept picking up Alberto Del Rio to knock him out for the 12 rounds afterward, which had no purpose, served nothing for either one of their careers. In fact, I think that was the beginning of the downfall when we started to dislike both of them. Number 6, there is a reason why, no pun intended here, WWE handed Alberto Del Rio the keys to the car of being the guy at SummerSlam, the face of SummerSlam. I wouldn't be surprised if he won Money in the Bank this year and cashed in ahead of time on Daniel Bryan and ended up being Daniel Bryan versus Alberto Del Rio at SummerSlam, where the loser leaves WWE, and that's the big blow off we get for the end of Alberto Del Rio's career. Whereas with Sheamus, he has only headlined one SummerSlam in his life. And you know what? He wasn't even a part of last year's because he was being a pussy heel, pretending like he was injured last year. I gotta say, that was disgusting. And I'm gonna count this for 7, 8, 9, and 10. in-ring ability. Alberto Del Rio's offense is far more creative than Sheamus's offense is, and he's far quicker, far more creative, far more fun to watch in the ring than Sheamus is, simply and solely for the fact that Alberto Del Rio can actually sell. Anyway, the match ends with Cesaro laying out Sheamus, and Sheamus sold it as if he was dead, and I think that was just a charade for the live audience, because during the commercial break, he just got up like nothing happened, so I guess he just wanted to look even more invincible, rising from the dead, trying to be like MT Ho. Anyway, the funny thing, the win here was on commentary, where supposedly you could tell by what they were saying that Vince McMahon apparently called one of either Michael Cole or JBL JR as an insult, and then Michael Cole told JBL he called you JR, not me, and it was as if fuck. It was as if it was a big insult that you're being called the greatest commentator in wrestling history. Then we had Vicky Guerrero confront Adam Rose, and it was weird because Vicky kind of started this out as a rosebud, and she turned lemon right away. She didn't really want to be a lemon. I guess that's a problem she should take up with creative, not the fans and Adam Rose, but I guess that's beside the point. Anyway, the crowd was little less than impressive for this segment, so I think if they were even half as good as they were on Rare, I think this segment would have gone off a lot better, but it is what it is. I'll take it as it was. I thought it was a fun segment, a cool thing. You know, Adam Rose debut, apparently, according to Vicky Guerrero. You know, all these other times he's been on Rare, I guess we've just been high, since he is kind of like one of those characters that's like a pothead. I guess we're too far into it that we think we saw him, but this was definitely his debut, and I can't wait for him to form his tag team with Bob Van Dam. So they finally give the Usos some mic time, and the thing that sucks is you stick them with John Cena, you're guaranteed for them to not get booed. Hopefully they get the Big E treatment and, you know, don't get booed, but they're going to be in Chicago. Obviously, the internet's very high on the Wyatt family, so for their tag team championship match play at Ryback, I definitely think that Wyatt family is going to get cheered and unfortunately win the tag team titles. And also for this backstage interview, you know, John Cena appeared to still be high after that Adam Rose segment because he wasn't making any sense. You know, trying to be funny like he always is, only this time it seemed like he was high, because then he started beating up his chest, going, The main event, believe it or not, was a tag team match play of the Usos against the Wyatt family once again. And even though the Wyatt family got disqualified here, I do not have a single doubt in my mind that it will be a tag team championship match between the Wyatt family and the Usos. You know, they're probably going to get a clean pinfall victory either on Raw before Payback or, you know, main event, Superstars, Splatdown right beforehand, but they will definitely get the tag team title match at Ryback. But on a post-match, you know, the funniest damn thing about this whole edited version of Splatdown where you could hear everything, including the commentary during when you're not supposed to hear the commentary. Michael Cole finally stuck up to Vince McMahon. You know, the whole show, Vince McMahon was giving Michael Cole shit about everything, not letting him say something like making out. That's right, Vince, try and stop me on my own channel. Hey, network, I dare you to censor me. Making out. Anyway, he finally sticks it to Vince McMahon. He cusses him out as we close to kiss the show. As we close to make out the show. And I gotta say, overall, I really did like this episode of Splatdown. They're not shying away from their old formula of pushing younger guys than Raw does and not featuring the older guys as much. I mean, the only old guys we really saw was John Cena and Batista. If you want to call Del Rio and Sheamus veterans, you could say that they were there, but aside from them, you know, they like to feature a lot of the younger guys. I think they should keep Bo Dallas strictly on SmackDown, so that way he doesn't get ruined on Rare, because the Splatdown booking team is a whole hell of a lot better than the ones on Rare. Anyway, this has been the other guy for the MT1 Reviews reviewing Splatdown for May 23rd, 2014. Yada yada yada. Blah blah blah. Bo leave.